Hey everybody, it's Carlos, Immortals Inc. podcast. I've got Mikey on the mic.
Yep, over here on the Transformer. What would you call it today? What synonym you got today?
I don't know. It's some kind of configuration machine.
Some configuration machine. I'm here though.
Because I just make things up as I go.
Yeah.
That's what we do here. Hey, today we're going to talk about something that I shouldn't say made me mad, but it doesn't make any sense to me. But it makes some players angry, and I understand why, because I'm on their side.
And it's widely influenced the trading card world as we know it.
It's not just the trading card world, but it's also the
everything,
just everything world. So proxies. We're going to talk about proxies. So if those that don't know, proxies are what you would use if you don't have the card or the item. So I understand it more in a trading card fashion, like Magic. We'll use Magic as the example of how I'll explain this. Magic, you could have, like, say you have an Alpha card or you have Black Lotus or some expensive card that's like $4,000 or $5,000. You don't want to shuffle that thing in your deck. That's understandable.
Yeah.
They say, hey, listen, I'm going to play with a proxy. That's going to be a fake card that's going to represent this card. But I have this card. It's on the table, right? I have to show that I own this card. All right? Now my proxy is in the deck, so that way I don't damage my $5,000 card. Or maybe you got it, maybe you got it a graded card.
Yeah.
It's in a big case.
Yeah.
Although I do know a guy who could play with the graded cards
Dude,
he has
what?
as a deck. Yeah.
Just shuffle
you know who
big,
he is. You
yeah.
know who he is. So anyway, that is what a proxy is. Now, another example that a proxy might use if you're at your house or it's a casual environment where, hey, I haven't bought this card. It's like $50. Now, mind you, this is just normal people who don't have like money to blow on just cards. I want to invest in this card. I want to try it out in my deck. So I'm going to use it as a proxy in this deck. Okay, we're all friends here. We'll play a proxy. If you like it, I'll go make the investment. I get that. Totally understand it before somebody goes off on me. Now, if you come to a tournament or if you come to open play or you're playing with a bunch of people you don't know and you sit down and you go, mind if I use proxies? If you are a player who comes here, and not even here, just anywhere, spends your money, buys it like you're supposed to, the rarities are part of the game. You know what I'm saying? That's part of the mechanics of the game. It's rare to get this card, so it's harder to get. So not everybody has it. So it's not running amok. You know what I'm saying?
It's cooler when you pull it out. And
and it takes, you have pride in it. You're like, hey, look what I got.
Look at this excitement. Bad boy.
Yeah.
Kind of throw it down like that. Real card, by the way.
Yeah. So you have that. Now, if you are that player, you should say, no, I do mind that you play that. My opinion, again, this is my opinion.
His opinion.
So, because that cheapens your deck, that immediately cheapens your deck and your card and the effort you put into it. Now, if you're going to build a whole deck, and then that person comes in and has a deck full of proxies of the best deck there can be, which didn't cost him, say, anything, whatever, printing paper, and all of a sudden he's winning. That's not really a win. That's a cheat. You know what I'm saying? You're cheating because actually acquiring the card, because it is a trading card game, is part of the game.
Yeah, it's a prototype win. That's what it is.
Yeah. So, so it's been brought to my attention at the store that there's some complaints, and I've had questions like on our Discord. Somebody asked specifically, "Oh, can we play proxies?" I said, "Well, no, I don't support proxies. I don't support you play there. If you're at home or if you don't mind with the other people playing, if you ask them and they say we don't care, that's on you guys. It's casual play. You can't play it in a tournament. You can't play in anything actually." Like, you can't even, like, enter the raffles we have because it goes through Wizards.
Yeah.
And everything like that. So, no, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't be part of our raffle or, event or giveaways because you're using stuff that's fake. It's copyright infringement. You basically copy this guy's work. So, I've recently had complaints about it. So, I'm like, okay.
What are the complaints?
Well, it's upsetting to the players because they're like, oh, back there using
what's
proxies.
The biggest reason, behind it,
well, it's because you can build a deck that's super powerful and you don't have to pay for it. You don't have to find the cards, you don't have to pay for the cards, you don't have to go out in the effort to get the deck built.
Because I get it being justified when you have the card on you and you're like, hey, I got the card right here.
Yeah, this is here, proxy. I found it.
It's different because there's a lot more leeway for people when they're just like, I have the card at home, trust me.
No.
It's like, here's the white bordered Black Lotus right here. It's at home, but this is the proxy. Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me.
So yeah, no, I'm not. It's just, but it's unfair to those. So they get upset because like, hey, listen, I built my deck. I put all this together. This kid comes in with a bunch of handwritten notes on a card and throws it down. Or worse yet, an actual photocopy or a fake card, That's the complaint I have. Well, my thought on it, and this is as a store owner, somebody who like, and here I'm going to go off on a little tangent, which some people may not like, some people may not understand, but some people, this is a logical sense of looking at it. Okay, I sell Magic cards. You come here, you open the packs, you buy singles, you do all that stuff to build your deck. Then you come here and you sit down in space I've provided. It's not like, hey, there you go, but I have to pay rent on that space, right? You sit down in a place and you play a card game, say for 4 to 5 or 8 hours a day, right?
Yeah.
Some days are 8 hours. But you, in turn, are buying product from me, which allows me to pay the rent, employees, and survive and buy new product. If you come here and you just make your cards at home, you come here, you're not spending any of my money, you're upsetting my customers, and in my view, you're kind of cheating because you're not getting that card. So as a store owner, I'm like, well, no, you can't do that. Like, why would I allow you to do that? Because in the end, it's also the guy who drew the art and came up with the card and the mechanics and all that work they did has to be paid for that too.
Yeah.
So if you don't buy it, he's not going to get paid. If nobody gets paid, the game goes down and the product won't be as good and they won't be able to make it, and then it doesn't exist. I mean, I don't think where they just pull it out of the air. I was talking to some customers about it one time and they're like, well, you're kind of ripping off the company too. I'm like, it's not like I'm a company man or like I have nothing to give from Hasbro. They haven't come here and give me anything, but it's just they created this product, or Wizards, or whoever owns it, whoever has it, or okay, let's break it down to the artist, the guy who made the artwork on a card, right? He put all his time and effort into that and got his, I'm sure there's a selection process.
2 weeks creating it.
Yeah, you don't just go down to Wizards and say, here's my card, put it on a thing. No, there's a selection process and da-da-da. You have to go through a lot to get there. So once you get there, you have to negotiate a fee and your price and how much you're going to sell it for, and you have to get the money for it, right? So then, bam. So you take that away from that guy, and it goes all the way up the line, the printers, the manufacturers, everything, even the store owners. And their response was like, well, they're a multi-billion-dollar company or $1 billion company. We can.
I was here for this combo.
They're the, putting it to the man. And I asked him, I said, well, wait a minute. Say I worked hard. I go, it's their money. I go, it's their money. They made it. They can do what they want with it. If they gave it product, and they're like, well, that's they have. I don't know what their excuse. I can't.
No,
remember.
what you said was, now imagine if I got to that level.
Yeah. Say I was working hard. Say I have this store and I worked hard and I put all my effort and time into it and I became a multimillionaire from this store. Would you turn on me? They're like, well, yeah. Then you're the man. I go, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
I'm not, it's that, but it's not just Magic, and I shouldn't pick on Magic players because they're not. It just so happened that this just happened.
No, it happens everywhere.
Yeah, we had the same thing with Games Workshop is much more aggressive. Like Games Workshop, right? Same process. Somebody had to come up with the model, make the model, design a model, background for the model, everything like that, and pay for that. And then they come in, can I just use my 3D printed models? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one thing if you like made a piece of terrain at home that was original, or you bought one online. It's a piece you bought from. You still bought the thing, the design, or the file from somebody. Yeah. So it's like, and you made it yourself. Okay, that's fine. But you can't take somebody else's work, print it out, and then have it, because at the same time, I can't put pictures up. You can't enter those in a tournament. I go, because that's I was supported by Games Workshop, like I can be, I don't know what I can be, but I'm sure they're not happy about it because Games Workshop is very aggressive about protecting their IP. And that was another thing I didn't understand, because it's like, in the nutshell, there was a big hoopla about Games Workshop used to be able to make videos and all this, and people they were making money at it. So guys would make money on YouTube. So then GW turned around and said, all right, you can't use our stuff without our permission anymore. And then they took the top, and everybody was like, oh my God. And they're like, that's just the way it's going to be. And then they went into the guys who made the best videos and said, hey, you guys want a job? And they're like, I'm sure every one of them's like, Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I mean that's a simplified version of it. I think
Yeah.
so, like that. And they just said that's the way it is. It's our IP, our investment, and we're going to protect it. Like they go after people. Like they used to sell, like eBay was bad for a minute with, like counterfeit products, like 3D printed or made at home molds,
and it would
actual
look like
GW
the real
miniatures.
thing. Yeah.
I think they charge people. They actually charge people crimes with that. So GW. So they're very aggressive about it. If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I think they did. Be aware when you go to a game store and you decide that you're going to use your own printed models, or I'm not talking about like you bought it off your buddy who bought a box set and that's just part of business. That happens. I'm talking about you steal the design of somebody else's, 3D print it and bring it in here and play. I go, just be leery that you're going to a place that if you don't support it, it's going to close. And
right.
I'm not saying, oh, woe is me, I need this and da-da-da. No, I don't. This is something I do on the side, You need it more than I do, because, that's how you get paid. But just be leery that if you don't support it, it'll go away.
Because it's one thing you're supposed to use us as a business. You're supposed to use us, but it's one thing to just use us by itself and use us and support us. Like you said, like
it's always like support your
local. You come here and buy a
bunch
bunch of packs, and you're an avid, connoisseur of spending Magic money. Then cool, it might be more justifiable when you bring up the proxy, situation. But when you don't spend any money or support the local game store in any way, and then you just show up there and
and I guess you could say I'm calling you out to say, hey, if you don't spend any money, I'm not asking people to come in.
It might not even be spending money, just simply showing support for that local gaming store.
It's like I don't expect everybody to come in here and drop $50, $100, $200 every time they come here. You come here to play the game. It's almost like a club, or a bar.
People post even on social media.
Down,
I'm here.
Buy a pop, buy a water. I get it. And I get younger guys, or you're having a hard time. You're just here to play. Okay, we all understand because you become part of the community and a family and everything, and say, hey, you know what? I'm going through. Hey, man, whatever.
Even at that, they post on Facebook, "Hey, I'm here at Immortals. I'm doing this." They
and
support
it brings
us.
more people in, like that. But when you come in and you do that, that doesn't support anybody, because if you don't pay for the product, they're not going to make it. Let me help you out with that supply-demand capitalism.
Yeah.
If you don't pay for it, they're not going to make it, because what's the point? You're not going to make. There's not some big magic commune somewhere where they just crank out all this stuff for free and then. Here it is, or GW, there's not some like, I almost said hippie commune, but there's not some big commune, that makes this stuff and they just give it to the universe, it doesn't work that way, everything costs something,
Yeah.
If you can't afford it, then you can't afford it, man, and that should be a motivation to get a job, find a better job, get your life together, figure out your finances, you know what I'm saying?
Figure something out.
Yeah, if you can't, and this is one of these terrible life lessons of, hey, listen, if you can't afford it, then maybe readjust your priorities. This is a game. You don't need anything in this store. Nothing you need here. You don't need. There's no milk, bread.
There's
water, maybe.
There's digital games for replacements like Magic Arena.
Home, you play that's part of it. I mean, it's like anything extra or anything you do in life that's fun is leisure time. It's leisure. Once you finish with your work, you have leisure time.
Yeah.
There's no. This is it. I just if you don't want to take care of yourself and get yourself better and move forward, then I can't help you. But don't complain when somebody else says, hey, man, this is unfair. Because I get a lot of complaints from people. And that's why I'm doing a video. A lot of complaints about proxies with Magic, GW 3D printed items, especially trademarked items. That's very it's unfair to everybody all on the line, but like I said, with the exceptions at the first end of it, where I said the proxies were, when I'll repeat this, if you have a very expensive card you don't want to shovel in your deck, I get it. You want to test something out amongst your friends, for something before you invest in it, I get it. It doesn't mean it's permanent. So, but then don't expect to come here and like get prizes and tournaments, because I'm going to have to start cracking down on that.
Yeah.
Because it's unfair to them.
Cracking down people. Yep.
At this point, I'm just giving away the stuff to people that aren't helping me. Help me help you become a better person.
Yeah. Help me help you.
I know.
Simple.
So that's my view on proxies. That's my personal view.
His opinion.
My opinion on how that works. But it will come to a head. Where it's going to be an issue. Don't they only make rules when there's a problem. So
And, have a friendly discussion in the comments amongst yourselves, or give us your opinion, obviously, in the least toxic way you could provide.
Yeah, I mean, I just won't answer toxic stuff. Just if you have a legitimate complaint or point, say, hey, by the way, this, but I think this. Hey, whatever, I'll talk all day. But
let us know what you think.
Don't start out with, hey,
hey, you scum of the earth.
Yeah, it's like, no, we're not answering. But that's that. So take it for what it is.
All right, guys.
If you like this content, like, subscribe, watch. I'm going to have some more opinions. So, because I think.
Let us know if you got any suggestions on what you want us to talk about. It's always something.
All right, and hopefully it was helpful. All right.
Peace.